Hello, friends. So now that the mains GS paper is out, and as you can see in the paper, I would like to continue this conversation from the message that I gave just before the paper, the good wishes message, where we highlighted some of the topics that were expected, and I do find that there is resonance of those ideas in the paper also. The paper to me has been a conceptual paper, it has been a current paper, it has been a paper involving newer things, and it has also introduced newer ideas. I also see that there is a lot of overlap between sub top parts of your syllabus, like they have taken the geography part and compared it or mixed it with social issues, they have mixed it with science and technology, and so on. Now, if we go into the details of the paper, what I find is a good trend was that they did ask after, I think if I'm rightly recalling, after 2020 or so, this is the first time that you see good numbers of questions being asked from geomorphology directly or indirectly. For example, the question on tsunami, that was pretty much a straightforward question, I should say, right? And then when they ask about shapes and sizes of the continents and ocean basins, and taking that question into the plate tectonics part, I would say that was a question which was more of a comprehensive question where we have to talk about different parts of plate tectonics, including when a convergence happens, how the islands add up to the continents and increase the size of the continent, or how the breaking of the continent, starting from the Wegener's idea up to plate tectonics, breaks the continents, causes rifts, and in the process creates a lot of different shapes of different continents and all. Now, from there, as I said, that word rift, I also found another question where they asked about offshore and onshore oil reserves. Now, that's a question which could be answered if you go into that plate tectonic idea only, and we find that wherever rifts are formed, gradually that is a region which might turn into a continental margin, and on those margins, the fossils turn into fuels, right? So that is how I see three questions being asked. And in addition, there was another one which was with respect to climate change effect on the phenomena and features, right? So that was also a question, I would say, where how climate change is costing erosion. So it was also a geomorphology question, not plate tectonic directly, I would say, but yes, it did go into the exogenic processes related to the sea level rise and how it can affect the coastal erosion and other factors. So I would say ample number of questions around that. Then coming to the other part of the paper, I did find a lot of questions about the renewable energy. So there was a question on solar energy, and even in paper 3 there was this question number 6 which was about clean technologies and all. So that was a question which was talking around this, right? Then they went further into the resources where there was this question about non-farm aspects of primary sector. So that question was hovering around forest resources and mining, fishing, etc., which are broadly your non-farm. Now, talking about this mining thing, there were question in paper 3 also, as I see question number 17, mineral resources, which was with respect to the environmental hazard. There's a lot of links, and all of this is pretty much conventional syllabus, I should say. There was another question which was about the physiographic features. So that was, I should say, probably the fourth question or fifth question with respect to the geomorphology. So good amount of question around that. After that, we find there were questions about smart cities. I would leave that for social aspects of the question discussion. Apart from that, there was a question on Ganga River Basin, which was about the farmers. So when we talk of the Indo-Gangetic plains, what we find is that the soil quality goes on improving as you move from west to east. When you compare it with the population, you find that even the population density goes on increasing, and the highest population densities that we find, the largest and the highest we find, are in Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar and West Bengal. They becoming the most densely populated, right? Between censuses, only these two have changed, but that's the region where you have the best soil in India when it comes to the alluvial soil. So I think that was one thing which was to be highlighted in terms of this. But along with that, there was another part, and there was another question about the choices of crops by farmers, high value crops, and there was a groundwater depletion question also. So this is how those agriculture questions and the soil questions and the regional questions come together. So again, a very smartly put question. Further, they went into fast food and health related things. So that was more about the urban and lifestyle disease and lifestyle challenges that we find. There was a question on question about sustainable development, our mineral resource use, and the poor population. So there were two, three questions around them, which also tried to focus on how the resource use on one side, the environmental challenges, and the sustainable development needs to be brought together in finding the rightful answers. Right. So again, I would say very well made paper with lot of coverage of different areas and lot of marks. I would say this year we see lot of geography questions in paper one. That was a very good sign. There was a question on tribal development in India, which related to displacement and rehab. So I would leave that for social issues. Then in paper three, we do find some more questions which were about carbon capture. I would leave that for science and tech part, right? Because that's where it has more of an overlap. But yes, disaster management also. I did hear some students saying that, sir, there was no question on disaster management. There were two questions, question number 8 and question number 13. One going with seawater intrusion. You might think it is geography. It was, but yes, there was a word hazard. The moment the word hazard comes, that is with respect to disaster management. Same ways, there was a question, question number 13, groundwater depletion and measures to mitigate. The moment they talk of mitigation, that is pre-disaster management, right? So these two questions to me were related to disaster management. Environment also, we saw a lot many questions. So pretty much a bag full of questions and paper. I would say it was a well-made paper. It has a lot of geography and relation between. So you need to be comprehensive in your understanding. It would not work only if you do one part. If you see those questions, it was just the question on tsunami, which was just a straightforward question. The rest of them had a mix-up. So you need a more comprehensive understanding. This is where revision, relation, and bringing writing more and more will help with content, current affairs, everything. So starting from concept up to current, and I should say finally the presentation, this was a comprehensively well made paper, and I'm sure the ones who were well prepared must have done well. So let's see in future also, we expect similar papers, and hopefully most of you will prepare well keeping these things in mind. Best of luck. God bless you.